Hello, I'm Judith A. Yates, true crime author and criminologist. This is Best True Crime. Every episode, I take you on a journey to explore crime, forensics, and investigations. In this episode, I examine nursing licensure fraud in Who Cares for the Caregivers. Due to local rise in COVID cases, I won't be visiting any sites for this episode. Hopefully, I will be taking you to different locations next episodes. Until then, please wear your masks and follow precautions. David Rhodes Jr. secured employment as a registered nurse in a Texas nursing home in 1994. Mr. Rhodes was promoted to Director of Nursing and Director of Clinical Services. A tipster reported information to the Board of Nursing, resulting in an investigation. Mr. Rhodes was not licensed to practice professional nursing in Texas. Mr. Rhodes' employment was terminated in December 2004. This means Rhodes worked in the nursing field for almost 11 years, caring for nursing home patients without a license. The case was reported to the county attorney's office. David Rhodes Jr. made a plea deal. He admitted to forging documents and pled guilty to practicing nursing without a license, tampering with a government document, and aggravated perjury. He was banned from working in any medical position for 10 years as part of his 10 years probation. This means, as of 2014, he could be employed in the medical field. Again. According to the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, nursing is the nation's largest healthcare profession, with more than 3.8 million registered nurses, RNs, nationwide. Nursing does not assist medicine or other fields. Nursing operates independent of, not auxiliary to, medicine and other disciplines. The nurse's role ranges from direct patient care and case management to establishing nursing practice standards, developing quality assurance procedures, and directing complex nursing care systems. So how does a person obtain a nursing license, and what are the degrees in nursing? Certified nursing assistant requires a high school diploma or GED and post-secondary education in an accredited school. Then the student must pass a state test. Licensed practical nurses must complete an accredited practical nursing certificate program and then pass an exam. And registered nurses must have a degree in nursing and pass the National Council Licensure examination that tests both application and analysis. There are higher degrees such as Master of Science in Nursing, Doctor of Nursing Practice, and PhD in Nursing. The National Council of State Boards of Nursing oversees all state boards. It can also be used to verify nurse licensure, discipline, and practice privileges. Every U.S. state has a board of nursing, and for each state, there is a section on their individual webpage for imposter alerts under the Discipline and Complaints section. Some states have photos and a detailed explanation of the infraction. Other states have lists of the person's name. Employers may also call the state or national council to verify a potential employee's licensure. The call on average takes less than 20 minutes. If my business or hospital is hiring you, a nurse, it is my duty to first call the state's board to verify your license, and you must have a verifiable state's license to legally practice nursing prior to working in my facility. I should also check the state's imposter alerts under disciplines and complaints. There are times when the facility is at fault. Michelle Watson voluntarily surrendered her license to practice vocational nursing effective June 3, 2010, but she continued her employment as a vocational nurse with the dialysis group from June 4th through August. During this time period, Ms. Watson was assigned as a vocational nurse to perform dialysis for patients at several facilities. Ms. Watson was terminated from employment on August 18, 2010, after her employer was notified she did not hold a license to practice. There are times when the facility is not at fault because the imposter is just a clever criminal. Nancy Hill was hired as the Director of Nursing with a nursing home in Mesquite, Texas in May 2004. Ms. Hill presented a registered nursing license at the time of hire. However, the copy disappeared from her personnel file. Later, the employer found out that law enforcement was looking for Ms. Hill for the offense of theft of funds involving Social Security checks. The employer helped set up Ms. Hill's arrest at the facility in September 2004. This is when it was discovered Ms. Hill was using another nurse's license number and Social Security number. Ms. Hill used the stolen numbers to purchase a vehicle. Ms. Hill was convicted and sentenced to 6 years in the federal prison. Both Michelle Watson and Nancy Hill were placed on the imposter list for the state's Board of Nursing website. What is an imposter? An unlicensed person who poses as a nurse and who may subsequently practice nursing or represent to patients and the public that they are a licensed nurse. Or a person who gains nursing licensure based on fraudulent credentials. A person who steals the identity of another licensed nurse and practices. A person who is licensed in one capacity and alters his or her credentials and practices or attempts to practice in another capacity. Or a person claiming to be a licensed nurse who may have completed a nursing program and may have been licensed at one time, but is not currently eligible for nursing licensure. As an example, David D. Leavitt was hired as a manager for Prestige Imaging LLC. During his employment, Mr. Leavitt represented himself as an RN to patients, staff, and physicians. He performed contrast injections for CT and MRI procedures, and he signed correspondence with an RN BSN typed in after his name. On January 10, 2006, the management staff could not verify his licensure. They contacted the board office and confirmed then that Mr. Leavitt was not licensed, at which time he was not allowed to perform duties that required licensing staff. Another example, Nancy Cross was caught using a copy of a fraudulent LVN license in 2005 in Selma, Texas. Before they hired her, the staff attempted to verify the license by phone and online, but they were unable to match the number with Ms. Cross's name. Cross was not hired and the information was reported to the board. The case was referred to the district attorney's office. Using the name Nancy Stivers Cross Parham, she was hired as an LVN the following year. Her resume listed 30 years of LVN experience. She told her new employers that she had moved and lost her license. She was allowed to work 1 month until she finally admitted to never having a nurse's license. She was terminated immediately. The case was referred to the district attorney's office in another county of the same state. And Antonio Rodriguez worked for 1 year under a fake license and with a criminal record that went unchecked until an audit revealed his history. So how can someone without a license gain employment as a nurse? Remember, these are just a few bad apples in over 3.8 million registered nurses in the United States. These hardworking men and women who are registered care about the quality of work they do and the care that they give. But how can a professional business or government organization hire someone who is not a registered nurse? Before we take a look at this, I want to share with you a new book. Mad Dog Cole, an Irish Gangster. Everyone recognizes the mug of Al Capone, but Vincent Mad Dog Cole can make Capone look like a cheap thug. Cole made Dutch Schultz go into hiding, and if you're looking for real Prohibition-era gangster action, this book is filled with drive-by shootings, kidnapping schemes, gun mauls, and Public Enemy #1, thanks to Vincent Mad Dog Cole, who put much of that on the map. The authors take the reader on a bumpy ride along with Cole and his gang with meticulous research and a well-written story. One of the authors was born a half-mile from Vincent Cole's birthplace, and the way Cole met his ending was so gruesome that, Well, you're just going to have to read it. Mad Dog Cole, an Irish Gangster, is available on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold. I highly recommend this book. It is going to take you on a ride. I recently interviewed a career nurse who has had their identity stolen. Because they are still employed, their voice has been disguised and their identity hidden. Here's what they have to say about imposters and how imposters operate.
Right now, I work as an RN. I have worked as an RN for over 30 years in 4 different states and overseas. That an imposter can be hired is at the fault of the institution that's hiring them. The hospital or whatever should be performing background checks and licensure checks before that new hire even steps foot in the building. They should be calling the board to verify credentials. I've never worked with an imposter in all my years that I know of. Now, with the internet, anyone can Google. They can Google and be self-taught, so they know terminology and some procedures enough to get by so they can fake their way through medical care at least some levels. If I worked with someone who I thought was an imposter, I would immediately take it up with my supervisor. Then the state board should be notified. And if someone in the public suspects that someone's an imposter, they need to notify that hospital or nursing home or whoever, and they should also call the board and possibly they can check. Some time ago, while I was a nurse in the States, I had logged onto the state website to update my credentials, and I found out someone had stolen my nursing identification, and they had gotten employment as a nurse using my ID. This person looked nothing like me. Our names were not even similar. I had to call the board and notify them. I have no idea what happened from there. Nobody told me. Nobody notified me. I have no idea how this imposter even got my number. I have no idea. I know that they were stopped. I know my number's clear. I didn't even know anyone could even do that until my number was stolen.
Most of these imposters never make the news. Some imposters do show up in the news. Christy Lynn Ann Granito worked in a correctional facility for 1 month as an RN by using the license of a registered nurse with the same name. Miss Granito also made the pages of the October issue of Jailbirds for Southwest Oklahoma the same year. Leticia Galarzo made the local news when she pled guilty to 5 counts of knowingly making false statements related to health care for falsely representing herself as a registered nurse at 2 hospitals and 3 nursing facilities in 5 different cities over a 7-month period. Each time an employer became aware of the imposter, she would leave her job and seek work in another city. Her sentence was 14 months in federal prison, 3 months parole, and more than $34,000 in restitution. Galarzo, who had no medical training, used the name and license number of licensed nurses with similar names. She passed the license check with the State Board of Nursing, and she passed a background check. The information specialist with the Texas Board of Nursing said, quote, "She was pretty creative in how she explained that to employers. They took her word for it. She was clever and came up with a way to go around these background checks that was successful. She has proven to be very aggressive using other nurses' identifications," end quote. Imposters don't always work in the public sector. Jessica Porter was employed for 2 years at a correctional facility as a health service administrator, a position requiring registered nurse licensure. Porter performed a variety of nursing duties, including patient care, tuberculosis testing, placing individuals on suicide watch, giving injections, and performing a sexual assault exam. When management staff noticed the license she initially provided had expired and requested a license from the current state of employment, Porter was unable to produce that license and she left the premises. According to the board licensure records, Jessica Porter has never been issued a nursing license and or privilege to practice registered nursing in the state. And the lists go on. Again, the number of legitimately registered caregivers far outnumber the imposters across the United States. But the fact these few imposters can obtain false records so easily and, most importantly, are not verified is alarming. Our health and welfare are at stake when in the hands of someone unqualified and unregistered. But we want to give a huge thank you to those caregivers who are on the front lines every day, who work hard to get there, and who do care about their work and the people they care for. October is officially Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but every month we should practice breast cancer awareness. Donate to your favorite charity to support research and survivors. Get regular medical exams, learn how to properly self-exam, and encourage friends and family to do the same. Take part in awareness campaigns and fundraisers by donating your time. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Best True Crime. I'm Judith A. Yates, and I hope you subscribe. Be sure to visit truecrimebook.net and be safe out there.